What the Fellas Think, episode 28. We keep growing and growing.
Yeah, I stuck up
Uh,
seven. Yeah.
no, you was doing West Side. Come on now. I saw it. No. Yeah, 28 episodes in. We've talked about a lot of stuff. We've grown, we've inspired, we've educated, we've entertained. I'm liking this and I'm liking the direction that we're going in. I am one of your hosts. My name is Roy Capricorn. No, and
Trying to turn
again,
this
my
into
favorite.
pop the balloon.
Right, right. We was talking about that the other day after we recorded our last episode, and I want to ask the audience before I really get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Could you really see yourself doing that? I would only do it for fun. I couldn't take that show seriously. I would be ignorant as hell, and that's the only reason you would see me on there. But anyhow, my favorite phrase is I speak of them, I don't speak for them. So, Brandon, introduce yourself.
I'm Brandon. I'm always the passionate one. I'm gonna keep saying that every episode. And we get
you
passionate and
know,
juicy on these topics.
that's the thing about a life. You keep saying it more and more, you start believing it yourself. But yes, as always, I dedicate this to my man Tigger Man. Rest in peace. He oversees the podcast. We love you, bro. So, man, let's get to it. I know we didn't discuss much about what we're going to talk about, but the hot topic seems to be Jay Z.
Oh yeah. I just think first I want to say though, I don't know if Jay-Z is guilty or not, but he has a right to defend himself, and he brings up a valid point that his kids do have to see this stuff. So, and I think he said, the price of fame was his quote, and I'm like, that's a hell of a way to put it. But and of course, people are chiming in and jumping on him. The man ain't even been determined guilty or nothing. So and that's one thing I hate about the whole situation. When these allegations come out from people in our community, we all like pack of wolves just jump on his back and it's like jumped on him and everything. But 50 Cent, of course, being the troll that he is, there's a famous, I don't know if famous anymore, but it's a meme that always go around. The older you get, you start to realize why 50 Cent got shot 9 times. It's
Well,
crazy.
my thing is first, I hope he didn't do it.
Yeah, of course.
Um, but at the same time, when our younger selves, we do things, and I'm not saying he did it. Our younger selves, we do things that we was like, man, what the fuck was I thinking when I did that? I was laughing and joking at the moment, high fiving and everything, but why the fuck did I do that? And I look at it like this, black celebrities work so hard to get there. And when I say celebrities, I mean people that have talent, and it just, I mean, just takes over. White America loves them, Asian America loves them, Hispanic America loves them. I'm not talking about the Urkel love. He was a character who was a buffoon. But we work so hard to achieve it, and I think it's harder to maintain it than it is to achieve it. You get there and you got to maintain that comfort level with people where hey, I got Jay Z this and Jay Z that. I'm listening to Jay Z. Jay Z's the goat. To did Jay Z do that? And I'm kind of riding the fence because I don't know if he did it or not. But it seems that Jay Z took to defense, and I guess either to defend himself or, you know, make himself look good in the limelight. But the lawyer that made the accusation is standing 10 toes down and he's not backing off. He's like, "Bring it. I'll bury you." So were they saying allegedly the girl was 13 when this happened, and that this was 20 years ago? So I'm thinking 20 years ago, 2004. I don't know where he was at in life, but a 13-year-old girl. I mean, really, that's sickening. And Jay Z old as fuck too. Let's not forget that.
He was 40 in the 90s, wasn't he? No.
That's exactly no right. It's funny though. I look at him and I remember the line from Ether. Nas says he says something, Tybo hole with whiskers like a rat, something to the point about him not being able to grow facial hair. And I look at him now with that little it looks like
Ether.
whiskers. It looked like whiskers from a rat. It's funny. But teach his own. Some people can't grow facial hair like that. I can't grow a goatee, and I hate that. But I won't get to the point where I start using an eyebrow pencil. I won't do that. But
um, I just want to say though, I know it's a serious allegation that's against him, and I think he has the fact that he defended himself shows how serious it is because that's not something like many people was falsely accused of rape, famous people. It's Chris Brown, even Kobe, which most people still think he had something to do with that, but it comes out that it's false and all this stuff. It's like it's a hell of an allegation to throw at somebody, and for it not to be true, you shouldn't even play like that because it's gonna still be ramifications on Jay-Z, whether or not if he did it or not, because now the seed is like planted, and now it doesn't matter what happens. If he proves that he's innocent, the seed is planted. Like Deshaun Watson, even though he's not innocent, seed is planted. Like it's ramifications after that. So that's why you should be. And I'm not saying I'm speaking against victims or anything like that, but it's very serious when you accuse somebody of rape and they didn't do it. That's a you should get the equal amount of jail time. Threatening, like that's
for
crazy.
false accusations, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wonder if this new that's not a new law. It's been around for a couple of years now, whereas there's no statute of limitations now in New York for sexual assault. I mean, playing the devil's advocate, let's say this is true, you know, 13-year-old, that's some trauma right there. But at the same time, she was probably, you know, I don't know how she got where she was. I don't know if it was Diddy's house, concert, or what.
Boy,
13 years old, she got access to him, and that's not an easy thing to do. And if this happened, to have your idols or people you look up to do what they did, you know. So there's two things I want to go with this. One is, like you said, he has a lot to lose.
mm,
His relationship with the NFL and the Super Bowl shows, halftime shows, which is a big deal, and everything else he's built. That's a big empire to lose. I mean, Diddy's empire is crumbling. Endorsers have left him. What he got left is what he got left. And second thing is, gotta remember, Diddy was chasing after Aaliyah too when she was young. I mean, facts is facts. So
my
that
my thing is when it comes to stuff like this though. And by the way, sickos out here everywhere. This type of stuff happens in Chicago all the time. Grown ass man, you're dating these preschoolers. What you doing here? That stuff happens all the time, and it's not should never be accepted. But with Jay Z, and I always think same situation with R. Kelly. Where the hell? How the hell you not know your 13-year-old is outside this late at night party? It always come back to that for me, just as a parent. So I'm watchful, I'm mindful of wherever my kids go. So like, what the hell is y'all doing? I don't get that part. No
You know
13 year
what?
olds out
It
here.
would be funny if one of your daughters was swinging from a rope right when you said, "I'm watchful of what they doing." They was doing something wild and dangerous, holding a butcher knife, swinging back and forth. I had to say that, but let's get back. Let's get back on track.
I just think it's crazy. I think it's crazy that a 13-year-old was even able to gain access or even able to be around that stuff, if it's true. But we know in situation, R. Kelly situation, it was true. It was 16-year-olds, 15-year-olds. These parents know that these kids are their kids are going on alone to these parties or to these events with R. Kelly, and they okayed it. And when that money dried up, then everybody want to say, "Oh, this happened, that happened."
The check stopped coming in. Hmm.
I hate that because even though R. Kelly is a sicko, them parents some sickos too, though.
And the people that was
Mhm.
around them too. The
Yeah.
ones that was holding the video cameras and picking them out the crowd and everything. They was guilty. They're guilty of something just as well. But
Yeah.
once the check stop, then everybody wants to. They want to get that big payday. They want that tell-all book. Yeah,
That,
it's
that, that's that's sad. What the the almighty dollar make you lose all your values and morals. Like that's sad. That's sad to me. To me.
really.
And if anybody wonder who I am, my name is Brandon Johnson. I spoke I spoke against all that because parents, y'all need to be in that jail with R. Kelly too. If you're mad at me, you can definitely reach out to me. I don't care. Yeah, y'all need to be at that jail with him too. Y'all some sickos too.
Yeah, especially the parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and give R. Kelly some of that stuff, and make sure you come back with, some money. So yeah, we're kind of running on a little schedule, and we can probably reach back on some topics later. So we had a topic in mind that we wanted to focus on this week,
Yes.
and that was uh, our upcoming president, Donald Trump, has said his first day when he's inaugurated, he is going to lay increased tariffs on China, Canada, and Mexico. And doing my research, you'd be proud of me. that that again, that's going to be one of his first executive orders once he gets in office. So he's going to add an additional 10% tariffs on China. Now, first of all, let's go back to what a tariff is. Basically, it's a tax on imports and exports. Uh, China and Mexico does a lot of manufacturing for us. I know the company I work for, we have a manufacturing plant in Mexico. Why? Because labor is cheap there. Well, I wonder how that works. Well, we're a Danish company, but yet the manufacturing is done in Mexico, Canada as well. They're going to increase 25% on Mexico and Canada, which I find kind of crazy until I found out why. And I got a little notes here I want to refer to, and it's basically the tariffs are basically he said they're going to continue until China, Mexico, and Canada address the movement of drugs, undocumented immigrants across the U.S. border. Now, I didn't know Canada was guilty of that. I would think, yeah, people would go there, but not as bad as Mexico has it. So yes, it's about the movement of drugs and undocumented immigrants across the U.S. border. He say that's what the reason for these tariffs. Now, right now, the total tariffs against China totals $429 billion. Now, that's actually a decrease from the year before, 20%, or $109 billion. So that's big money right there. And if you look nowadays, manufacturing clothes, shoes, mostly comes from China. And with Mexico, they assemble goods as well. So it's a big part of our economy. So you would think they impose the tariffs on those countries. What they got to do is increase their prices just to I don't want to say break even, but to not take too much of a loss.
And who does that trickle down to?
Us,
Exactly, the consumers.
yes.
It's going that's going to be a negative impact. And if they go on and don't agree to help with border situation, whatever he deems is the problem coming from those countries, and they just say, F it, that ain't got nothing to do with us, and they still got to pay this, that force consumers to either go to deal with local consumers who don't have raw materials that come just grow here. You still got to go to these other countries and deal with that. So it's going to have negative impacts. But I'll let you finish your statement first.
No, and I kind of sort of disagree with what you just said that it's going to affect the consumers because I think people are still going to buy regardless. They're going to bitch and complain about the prices, but everybody wants their Louis bag. You know, they're gonna pay if you can afford it. And I won't say if you can afford it. People got it and can't afford it. You know, they do it for the sake of missing a rent bill or paying a light bill or getting a credit card in their kid's name. They're still gonna get the stuff. So I mean, is it gonna have a negative effect on the economy somewhat? Yeah, but I think the consumer is still going to consume.
I got a question for you. What happens when the price go up and demand go down?
They just like, oh shit. Or do or
No,
do or do these countries buckle and lower the prices and still take the hit just to get some type of revenue?
I don't think it's gonna have a great impact at all because inflation's gonna go up. You talk about you talk about goods that I didn't know this either. China and the U.S. have been going this trade war with tariffs. They increased tariffs on us. We increased tariffs on them back and forth since 2018. I didn't know
Hmm.
this. This looking up and doing my own research, seeing that this stuff is like negatively impacting us because we are consumers. We buy the goods. Your everyday goods. Some of your everyday goods come from China,
Yeah,
and you wanna if you wanna pay $30 for a freaking apple. Like, I'm being extreme, but I'm just saying, if you want to pay $30 for a damn apple, I know I don't. I know I don't. And that's coming from a person with a considered high earning job. I still don't. I still don't want to pay damn $30 for a damn apple.
right,
And I feel like that's what's going to happen. They're gonna raise prices. It's not going to be a demand. People are going to more focus on having local goods and consumers, but there's nothing local. That's the thing. Nothing is really made here in the U.S. Nothing's really made here in the U.S. It's all outsourced.
right. We
Everything here made in the U.S. is either mass produced. And what happened with mass produced stuff? It's contaminated. It has the harmful shit in it. That's that's not good for us.
so you're talking in terms of food right now, I guess.
Yeah, I'm talking in terms of food. I'm just giving that as an example. But
Hmm.
a lot of
Well,
stuff is
even general manufacturing, majority of it goes to China because labor is cheap there. So again, I don't know, coming back, even if you are an American-based company using them for manufacturing, are you still paying tariffs to get your stuff back to the States? I
I
would, I
imagine,
would, I would think so.
yeah, I imagine you are, because that's money that the U.S. is not going to miss out
Not at all. And at the same time, and I don't know how true this is, and if he can pull this off, that he won't tax overtime. He's reaching out at a certain crowd. He's reaching out to the middle class because the upper class don't even worry about overtime. Here he is saying that he's going to drop the taxes on overtime. I don't see how you can do that, but prove me wrong. I'm salary, so that shit don't matter to me. And minimum wage is up to $15. That's that is so unheard of. When I was doing minimum wage, I think it was like I want to say it was like 5.50 something like that. And for it to be $15 an hour, shit. Some people are thinking I don't need a regular job. I can just get minimum. I can get by on minimum wage. I don't know how they. Yeah, I don't know how they think that, but I don't know not to be branching off, but I don't think minimum wage should be that high. Honestly, I don't. What's going to happen? Take example, your McDonald's, which I really don't eat McDonald's, but as an example, they got to raise prices on their products just to pay their employees and turn a profit. I think jobs like that probably going to piss somebody off. I think minimum wage jobs are for high school students or senior citizens. Whereas, you have management, you have salary positions within the organization, but yeah, they're making it so just like with the pandemic, people chose not to work because they was getting those stimulus checks and all those benefits or whatever for not working, and they chose not to work. I don't know. People just got a real
It's
fucked up mindset when it comes to money.
when the cost of living is continually doing this, you can't lower minimum wage ever, because and I get it. I get what you're saying for high school people and senior citizens. But if someone, to me, if the system's set up where you gotta work when you 70 at any job, when you work the majority of your life, then that's a problem. That's the problem right there. But if for kids growing out, that's you still gotta earn money. I remember being in high school, going into coming out of high school and going into college, having those jobs, those minimum wage jobs, working at fast food restaurants, supermarkets. Like it's not sustainable. You can't pay your bills and eat. Like it's almost damn near impossible on $15 an hour to pay your bills and eat, like to have food. Because the average groceries just for one person is probably $200, and you're not doing that. You're not just doing that for 1 month. Like 1 month, like that's not just 1 month. That's maybe 1.5 week or 2 weeks. So
Hmm.
you can't. It's hard to do that. Electric, gas. If you got a car, you gotta don't talk about insurance. Don't talk about gas and all that stuff is hard to do. Believe me, I know. I had two jobs at the time, still. So going through the experience, I already know. And we got a guest coming on. She'll give financial tips too for us going into the new year. But I already know $15 an hour. Cool. You better be living home with mama or something. Because if you gotta pay bills on $15 an hour, you must gonna eat once in a blue moon.
So yeah, with these upcoming tariffs, like he said, we do have actually a returning guest. you'll see when she comes on to give us some type of financial tips, what we can do to maximize uh, contributing to.
Actually, speaking of it, she just came on. Are
Yes,
we are we
let
ready?
her in. Let her
All
in.
right.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Can you hear us?
We can
Yes, we can
hear
hear
you
you.
and we can see you. Hey, Crystal, welcome back.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me. How are you guys?
Doing
We're
great.
good. We're
And this was
good.
a last minute thing. I came up with this idea Saturday, and I thought it would be perfect to bring you back on, towards the end of the year
Yes.
again. And I was just about to say this, what we can do to maximize, contributions by the end of the year, which is 2 weeks away, and what would she do going into the new year? So again, first off, welcome back.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't remember Crystal was on recorded
Uh,
and unrecorded. She was on like three times.
Right. We had some hiccups, but we made it happen.
Yeah, we figured it out, and now she's a regular. She's officially a regular.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it for reaching out. I know Brandon texted. I was like, it works perfect with my schedule. So, yes, put me
you,
in.
you know, you're our number one supporter, so we gotta
Yeah,
have it. Gotta have
I know.
it.
I'm so proud of you guys too. I just want to take time to like send my proudness to you guys of staying consistent with doing your podcast and getting it, just kicking it off and going into this new year with what the fellas think. I love it.
So you watch it consistently?
Oh yeah, you guys. I follow you guys on the Instagram because I'm
Okay.
not sure who's your social media uh person. Good job. Okay, yeah, because some days I'm like, Brandon, you cannot share this story. Like you got to keep it here. So yes, I follow you guys on Instagram. Is usually where I'm always at on Instagram.
We appreciate that.
I appreciate you guys. So
All
I know.
right.
I
So let's get
know.
to it.
Yes. My notes. As soon as Brandon told me, I have like some notes in regards to preparing for next year with the mindset with finances, money, and with all of that too, just taking care of yourself because it does impact our well-being and our health. So I
Mhm.
just have some 4 tips that I think is very important to, I want to say everyone, but I'm mainly talking to those who are kind of just that are average, right? We're not bazillionaires right now. We're just doing our best to become more responsible with our money.
Keeping our head above water, making the ways so we can temporarily.
I
Let
love
me
it. I
stop.
love it. But my number one, when I'm even just talking to friends, family, and even no partners in my companies as well too. Number one is building your budget. I think a lot of people like will start and then they fall off, meaning really being disciplined. And it means of this is what I do. And it's really helped me and my husband kind of meet a lot of our goals. We started this goal last year, and I've seen just huge changes in just our finances with savings, paying off debt, reaching goals that we wanted to reach. Now, when I say building budget, if you're single, this is mainly going to just be something you do yourself. If you are married or have a fiance or in a relationship, I would say you want to have that discussion with the spouse. So you're on the same page. Like me and my husband, that's one thing that we do. I'm mainly the driver of our budget, but every month we have our monthly end of month budget meeting. So where we kind of go over what did we just spend? Okay, what is the goal for next month? Now, when building the budget, you really have to be intricate, right? With what is it that we're looking at? Number one, what is the budget for the bills? Look at all the bills you have to pay. Like you need to know that number. I feel like people sometimes just, okay, I got to pay this bill. I got to pay this bill. It's like, well, do you know the number? Or you just every day be like, oh, this bill's due. It's like, well, know that number so that you can work at, hey, maybe I need a bill. We need to focus on paying this credit card off more. So then by quarter two, now our column of bills is going to decrease, right? So bills is going to be one you got to really discuss. Obviously, your mortgage or rent, that's really not going to change, but still have that number so you're aware of it within your budget. Entertainment is one. I help many people, and when we break this down, they're like, "I spend that." I'm like, "Yeah, we just we just broke it down. You're spending a good amount on Uber Eats, but
Streaming
if you
apps.
go right, Uber Eats, takeout, going out, because why are you spending all of that? Because you're not taking the time to see that you spend it, right? Or creating a discipline of, hey, only this week $100 is entertainment money. Then next week, $200 maybe. Then at the end of the month, we're only going to have $50 extra, whether we're going to do takeout or we'll have a drink or go to the movies, whatever it is you do to entertain yourself. But that's a big one. People just, and I get it. Like sometimes life is hard or life is lifing and you want to, like, well, I just want to, enjoy myself. That's great, but let's be responsible, right? Because what you're doing now may impact you in the future of taking away your joy because you didn't spend the time with you, yourself, or your spouse, if you're in a relationship, to figure out what is our budget and stick to that. Sometimes, like I get, like with that entertainment budget, sometimes like you go over a little over budget. Well, if you did that for that week 2, then week 3, your budget's going to be less for week 3, right? Because you already set something at the beginning of the month of what is my entertainment. So the main ones I would say to kind of look at, again, your bills, your mortgage or rent's really not going to change. Your entertainment, your car, with car that includes gas, your insurance that you pay for. If you're already predicting some mechanical stuff or you want to set that aside just in case, put that in that budget. um, Miscellaneous, I always have a miscellaneous column for myself. That's for me, that's like Amazon. I want to order a book because someone on my podcast is like recommended a book and I'm like, oh, gotta go order the book. Have a budget for that though. um, and then really it's again discussing, once you look at your finances, what are your guys' main columns? Your health, if you're paying for health insurance or you have like a gym membership or you have a subscription for, you know vitamins that you take monthly, including that, so that you guys can, again, stay on the budget. So that's going to be my number one. And, and just disciplining yourself to look at that. I look at it every day. So every day I look into all of our accounts and whatever we spent the prior day. I'm putting that. I have a cute little budget planner. So I recommend, if you are a person who likes to write things down, get a budget planner every day. I've been doing that. And then I update my husband, that's my team person with this. I'll be like, "Hey, I saw an Apple, we have an Apple column, like, hey, you got $20 for the rest of the month. That's it. You got $20 left. I just looked at what was taken out with the apps that we regularly get. So if you're getting, he's a gamer, so I'm like, if you're getting any like streaming things, I don't know, I don't understand that, but this is your budget for the rest of the month. And just communication, again, going back to if you're in a relationship, is key. I think too, it avoids, the fighting of like, well, how come we don't have this? Or like, why can't we go on this vacation? We've already communicated. We're communicating now our budget. And if it's something that, like for us, one of our main things to budget for was we just wanted to do one trip this year in 2024. We usually go a lot of places, but I was like, I'm tired. Like, I don't want to travel that much no more. I'm really tired. So we'll just budget for one trip, which is Tokyo. So we're going tomorrow, but we budgeted for it
Oh
all
wow.
year. So we have the budget. We broke down, okay, every day, this is what we're going to spend. We already had that discussion, but we're going there with less stress. We're going there knowing we already planned for this for the entire year, because why? We have a budget and we look at it every single day. We meet at the end of every month to prepare for the following month. So that would be my number one thing going into the year. Plan your
Real
budget.
quick, I just want to say, and this is very serious, even though it's going to sound comical. You ever had that end of the month budget, and I don't know, you might be over, and then the finger pointing starts and the accusations. Well, what about you? You got this, and what about that? And we probably wouldn't be that way if you bought three of those instead of just one. I mean, see, I'm being serious.
There's really no accusations because we know exactly what was spent on, because I look at it every day. So
Okay.
if I
Oh,
see, right, like there's a discussion like, hey, I do want to go to this special guest who's speaking. I really want to, it wasn't in the budget, but can we have that discussion? If are we able to, maybe what I would do is if I want to do that, I think we can minimize a little bit on your grocery column, right? Instead of spending $100 a week, I think I really could bring that down. But I'm aware, like, and so is he. He's like, hey, I really want this. All right, we need to have a discussion. If that's
Let's not
something,
eat for a week.
right? No, food is the way to my heart, so that will
Yeah.
never be. But again, it goes back to finances is a big thing that I think either break or build a couple. So that's why I think that doing this, like, I know it's verbatim, looking at it every day. Sometimes I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I know it's going to be good for me, for my mental health, for our goals, and for my marriage. So we really like having that, like, you look at what all you spent. It's like, no, because we kind of already know. And I'll say, I'm like, ooh, like, we wanted to focus on paying off that credit card more, or dang, we went out like a little much in November, but we already kind of knew because I'm looking at the numbers as a month every day. So we're having that discussion.
No
But we
Christmas for you.
have we had to pull back
I
on little things? Yeah.
I can
No, but
I
that's
can
cool.
speak.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off, Roy, but I can speak from personal experience because me and my wife we've been married going on 6 years.
Yeah.
In the beginning, we didn't have that. Like
Mhm.
money came in, we was eating out pretty much often. So and
Like, where
like
did
and
it
that's something
go?
that
Like,
yeah.
where did
And
it go?
then I've been like salary paying job pretty much majority of my life. So
Yeah.
it's like I didn't I didn't really care as a man. I'm just like, whatever, I'm providing, bills are paid. I didn't know. I didn't even know our number
Mhm.
until 2.5 years ago of what our bills was. And I'm like, damn, we pay that much? We
Right.
have this much in streaming apps? Like our number for is roughly close to $5,000 a month. And streaming apps is $400 to that. And I'm like, damn, I didn't know we paid that much.
Right. And
Yeah,
then you can
that's a
minimize.
lot.
Like even this
Yeah.
last like Hulu, Disney, they're all giving these sales right now, right? And then our TV, we're with Spectrum, and I'm looking on my online account and I'm like, Disney Plus is included in what we're already paying. So I'm on the phone, I'm like, wait, so I just have to activate it so then I can cancel my Disney Plus. So there we go. I'm saving there. And then I'm like, wait, I have to pay $1 more to have Hulu. So then we don't have to pay what we're paying in Hulu. And then my apartment complex is like, oh, we're already paying for you. I'm like, this is already included. So, like just little things because I'm aware of every day we're paying Hulu. Like I see it. So then when I'm looking like, wait, I could just condense all of this. And now I only pay $1 for those streaming fees.
So, two quick things.
Mm-hmm.
Who is your avatar for Disney Plus?
Oh, I don't even know. I think it's Mickey Mouse. I think it's automatically. I didn't even know you could choose because I'm
Yeah,
like, that's
you can choose them. Yeah, mine's is Thanos.
oh.
So, a great tool is called Rocket Money.
Yeah.
Basically, you submit all your credit cards, your debit cards, or whatever, and it analyzes what you pay for monthly,
Yep.
and it keeps track. Some of the things you forgot you even had, and you're still paying for it,
Yep.
like a gym membership, or hey, this was free for this weekend, but I forgot to unsubscribe because after that third week or whatever, you automatically enroll, and it's been coming out of your credit card. So
Mhm.
Rocket Money is a great tool to have. You can even the majority of the apps or whatever businesses, whatever, you can cancel from that website, Rocket Money. Some of them they want to take you through the hoops and want
I know.
they
Yeah.
help to frustrate you enough that you say,
Uh-huh.
forget it, I'm gonna just
Whatever.
stick with it. Yeah.
I've been there, but I always find a way to cancel it.
Oh, I Google. I'd be like, how do you cancel this? And
Right. Like, oh my
no,
goodness. But it's good.
it's
Like
like
that's why I say, look into what you spend every day. I know it's again, even I hate it, but I know I'm like I gotta look at what is being taken out of our accounts and what is, because we all get direct deposits with things that we do. It's like how much are we making? What is the bare minimum? And how do I know when we're extra so I can put that at different retirement accounts that we have? But I know the numbers because I look at it every day. So again, that's why I'm like, that's my number one. And to start now, don't wait till January 1st. So anyone hearing this, like, do not be like, oh, January 1st, I'm going to start looking at the budget. I really encourage you to start now to build the habit. So once January comes, you're going to be a little bit more stronger in that area to execute it.
Just anything, not just money management. If you plan on doing something in the new year, start now.
Yeah, no need to wait. No need to wait. So budget. And then on top of that, I would say budget your savings, but and analyze that too. How are you and your spouse or just you? So you want to save a certain amount of number, whether it's, let's say are you looking at monthly savings or you look at quarterly goals, right? For example, if your monthly goals are going to be every month, I want to have $1,000 that just goes into savings, knowing that number. Because if you know it's $1,000 at your time, divide the thousand by four, the 4 weeks, that means 250 a week you're needing to put aside. And if it's going to be every 2 weeks, 500 a week. So that would be my bonus on top of the whole budget conversation and goal for even this ending this year and going into the new year. You need to go over that. You need to have conversations with yourself and your spouse if you are in a relationship. My number three, I have them all right here. Get a finance book, something to read about money to get better on. Like I was like, oh my God, I read all those books. So I just chose three.
Is
Number
that
one,
I didn't want to cut you off, but is that Rich Dad Poor Dad? Is that
that's always going to be one of my number one. So,
okay?
Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Definitely go get this book and read it. The Power of Zero: How to Get to the 0% Tax Bracket and Transform Your Retirement by David McKnight. And another one, this one was really, really good. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This one was really good. It kind of it gets you in the first 3 pages. This one is super, super good. But if you're wanting to just, you know, get better within your money and finances, start reading. But these are top three for me. Good
That
reads. They're not boring. Oh.
that
So
that third read, can you send me that one? Because I read the other two. I read
Yeah.
the other two, and that Rich Dad Poor Dad taught me a lot about assets and liability,
Mm-hmm.
which and understanding. You can learn information from anybody, whether somebody's not rich or somebody's rich, and learn information from anybody. And
Because
that's
everyone's rich is different. That's what I've
yeah,
learned this year. Because being, on the island, Hawaii, half the year, and then being in a city, a lot of people on the island they're rich is just having their family, having their home, having food on the table. They're not trying to be a millionaire. So that's where I had to really understand. Because in environments here in LA, the city, it's like you better, your goal better be you're going to be a billionaire. Because that's the environment here, right? The hustle, the hey, what did you the material stuff, that's where I learned a lot this year, because this was my first year of doing half and half on an island and in the city life. So reading The Psychology of Money, this helped me kind of better understand everyone's money goals are all different, and that's okay. So those
if you can
are
so
send me that,
my
that'd be great.
I will, Candy. I'll put it right here.
so my go-to book, it's probably over about 25 years old.
Which
It
one?
was it's called Make Money Now, and it was written by a professional wrestler. And before you laugh, professional wrestlers before they, The Rock and Stone Cold, they
Yeah.
weren't making a lot of money.
Hmm.
So here it was their passion, and they had to sacrifice for their passion. Sometimes
Yeah.
they didn't get paid. Sometimes I was reading this recently. This guy said he got hamburger coupons. He was like, I ain't got no money. What can I do with these coupons? Now I got to save up to buy this one burger so I can get two burgers. But anyway, this one wrestler, it was John Bradshaw. That's his name.
Okay.
He had this phrase he coined. He said, if you want to get out of debt, first you got to plug the boat. Consider a hole in a hole in the boat.
Hmm.
There's water,
Hmm.
and that water is debt. You constantly, bucking the water out, but the water's still coming in.
Uh-huh.
He was like, plug that hole. That
Yeah.
hole is debt. Stop taking on new debt, and,
Hmm.
and deal with what you got first. and
Yep.
then you can grow from that. And I found myself every few years, now that I'm speaking it up, I'm gonna go pull it out and read it, just referencing it again. It was just it taught me about Roth RIAs,
Hmm.
taught me so much, And again, people used to laugh at this book. Oh, you so into wrestling, you read it. I'm like, where else to learn how to not struggle but from
Right.
somebody that's struggling? He's
Yeah.
not struggling anymore, so
Yeah.
obviously there's something to learn from this guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my go-to.
No, that's yeah. No, I'm gonna order it next week, so I already wrote it down. See, that's on my miscellaneous column.
And it's not long. It's probably maybe 60 or 70 pages. So for somebody like you
Read it in a day. I mean,
yeah.
my husband would be like, "You're still up." Hmm.
Well,
I I have a
you'll see some of the information is kind of dated, but for me, it's that plug the boat,
Yeah.
before you can move on. Stop taking in more debt if you're trying to get
Hmm.
rid of debt. Yeah.
And that's recognizing, again, plugging the boat is recognizing, going back to budgeting, looking at the numbers. Got to recognize it to know, like, do you have to just cut up all these credit cards? Do you have to just, like, again, you don't get no more loans for the rest of the year, and having that conversation with yourself. Were you going to recommend a book, Brandon?
Yeah, mine was simple though. I don't know if you heard of it. It's Emotional Intelligence 2.0. And that book has really helped me in terms of like my work environment, my daily life environment, and just dealing with like any daily stress or surprising stress that comes on.
Yeah.
Something may happen that's like traumatic or whatever, how to deal with that and be aware in the moment. Even like having conversations, like
Hmm.
being aware and truly listening and understanding what's going on around you. That's a great book, by the way. It's great. It's like a self.
I thought you was gonna recommend Horton Hears a Who by Dr. Seuss.
No, no.
I
But
think with emotional intelligence, like they always say, like people's spending habits or money habits really do, it's tied to our emotions. A lot of it is. And that's what the psychology of money kind of taps into. It's like you have to like break that down with yourself. So I'm gonna get that book too. I love books so much. I came back from Hawaii. I was like, oh, because I have a library here, and I'm like, I read every single thing. I was like, I need more books because we're on a 12-hour flight tomorrow. So I'm like, let me stack up my books. And I was like, nope, read them all. It's okay. I got podcasts I can download.
Yeah, I was gonna say, download some stuff on that iPad. You got enough to, plug in and just go away.
Yes, that's what my plan is. I already made my schedule for tomorrow's flight. Like 12 hours. Oh my goodness. Okay, I could do it. But my last tip that I would say for planning your 2025, ending your 2024, is just writing down your 2 to 5 major money goals that you want to accomplish. Now, everyone's is going to be different. Just examples that I have. This one might be a popular one, paying off debt, right? A lot of people have that as a goal, paying, even if it's not all of the debt, even if it's just this next year, half of the debt. Because you do have to be realistic with yourself. Like if you are in an income where it's pretty much, it's not going to really move from there. The only thing you can really do is cut your expenses in your budget, right? Unless you are in control of getting a higher income, then yeah, that's probably going to be more of a reality. But being a reality with that, paying off your debt too. Savings, again, going back to like, what is your savings goals? Whether it's, I want to save at the end of this year 50,000, even 5,000, 10,000, even like 1,000. Like I know for some people that is a goal like that they've never done, to save 1,000. Write it down. Um, Investing, right? That are you in what, like even with a Roth IRA, do you want to open that, or an IRA, or just starting something like Robinhood, or doing little stocks just to get the habit building, right? Or even looking at your cash value life insurance policies that you can use for retirement. That even if you're not going to be able to start it next year, start looking at the options, learn about them, right? That's one step closer to you having one of those investing accounts or retirement accounts. Um,
So right quick, I just want to cut you off. I want to show you my new investment plan for the new year.
oh, I love it. Let's go.
it's gonna be something crazy.
Pick them
Here
up.
you go. Here you go. Here you go.
Math? Are Are you invested in mask?
Go. I knew it was gonna be something crazy. Something crazy.
Or that's even a money goal to doing things that make you just enjoy life, right?
Well, one of my money goals is to stop buying so many masks and props because I haven't used them all yet. With a podcast, with a,
But now, if those are part of your business venture here, it is a tax write-off. I will say that it is a tax write-off. If you connect it to your business. Now you can't just be like, I bought all this and I'm just going to somehow put it part of it. Then you cannot do that. But yeah, those are
I,
kind of like, what were you going to say, Brandon?
I was gonna say, with goals that like we set every year, it's always like something that comes up too, and it's
Mhm.
like hard for that to stick to that dedication all the time. I think from my own experience, I've had those challenges because we've had goals where we want to set 20,000 or
Yeah.
10,000 for the year, and it's like, but birthdays pop up, or a family member may pass, or things happen. So,
Yeah.
and it's always good, like you said, to be realistic with yourself and understand that though you're gonna
And
have challenges.
it's okay to adjust the goal throughout the year.
Mhm.
Right? Because if like something like that does happen where, hey, you guys had 5,000 for the 10,000 goal, but now you have to use two. Now you have three. Now I would say meet again. Like, hey, what now where we're at, if it happens in April, what do we think we can actually reach by the end of the year? Do you think 6,000 is more of the goal? Instead of just like, because and then you're going to be so disappointed and disgruntled with yourself when you guys don't reach that, which is why it's like, again, why my number one tip was what's your budget? What are you like? Put everything down. I do mine on the, Google Docs, just a simple spreadsheet, something that I have access to. Um, and I will say too, like when you put your bills and your credit cards and loans too, then go even deeper to see how much each one is every month, what the APR is on it, what the balance is, and how many months till one of the loans is paid off. So, but that's okay, like to have the goal, but to adjust it during the year too. Like you guys have to everyone needs to have grace with themselves with this. Money comes and goes. Money is not everything, but money is just a tool that we can utilize to hopefully elevate our life if the money is in good hands. So make sure you're doing good with the blessing of money that you're getting to.
There's an article and I read it. I believe I forget the title of it, and when I find it, I'm gonna send it to you. But
Yes.
it's about wealthy families, how they
Hmm.
do family banks, and they borrow from the family bank, and they just pay
Hmm.
that bank back, which is
Yep.
their family. So they're just paying themselves, increasing their wealth.
Yep.
And I it's an ever revolving door, and I didn't know that stuff existed, but that's
Mhm.
not access to the public, and that stuff is like crazy to know all the financial tools that are not taught in schools, whether you're young or you're big or in college, whatever. Those
did
financial tools are
somebody
not
say
taught.
bank?
But when Brandon, like you have one of those accounts for the banking with yourself, right?
Mhm.
It's usually in the cash value life insurance because that's tax-free growth. And then what they did, but they did this way before many, many decades ago. So then they're establishing the trust. So all those death benefits, when they're getting in the millions and millions, they're putting it in the trust, which have, kind of the standards and rules of how this money can be utilized within the family. What the Rockefellers would do, that talks about utilizing the life insurance, connecting it to their trust. So you're on the steps again. What we're doing with all the facts or with all the knowledge that we're learning, I don't know if you've heard of this kind of visual before, but we might not be the ones to be, it's not unfortunate. I think it's a beautiful thing. We might not be the ones, we're like creating the shade for a future generation. We might not be the one to enjoy the shade. It might be our next generations to come, but we're the tree that's providing that shade. We're starting it, right? We're like, I don't know if you listen to Ed Milet, but being the one who switched it up in your family to be like, yo, I know we're not millionaires right now and we can't open up their bazillionaire trust and all that, but can we plant the seed to start it? And then maybe if it's not my children, maybe it's kind of I pass the knowledge on to my children because I already started it. And then my grandchildren are going to be the ones sitting under the shade because we did something decades ago with the knowledge that we received. So you have that, brand. That's why I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
I was thinking because like I mean I search this stuff all the time and they even talk about like you say trust. When you
Mhm.
pass, you open up a policy that automatically goes to your kids, and that goes a part of the trust when they pass, and it just keeps
Mhm.
keeps
Yep.
having a cycle.
Yeah.
And that'd be something definitely learning how to set that up and having more information about that. So
Trust,
that's
because trust, like I'm really big. I partnered with a team of attorneys. So a lot of my clients are setting up trusts with that too. Like me and my husband have one because as your assets grow, you want to put that into the trust. And then exactly what you just said, as more gets into it, you have rules of like, okay, once you hit 1 million, all the grandchildren, you open up a life insurance policy for 1 million each upfront from this trust. As that grows, then once their time of passing comes, the beneficiary is a trust and it goes back into the trust. But it's just rules and regulations, just like standards, like my rules and me and my husband's rules for how money can be spent within our trust. So that might be another topic, and we might have to talk about that on another episode.
I remember because me and you talked about this before, but it's
Mhm.
definitely have to because I want to set that up for myself. And like you say, I'm comfortable just being the tree
Yeah,
and everybody else enjoying the shade. I'm cool with that. And
yeah.
but I just want because I come from a family that didn't know how to manage money, and I made the mistakes listening to them, but I learned from their mistakes
Mhm.
and following their mistakes not to do that. I was a person that when I got into college, when
Don't
I got a
do it.
credit card,
I
when
got
I
that
got a
credit.
credit card, I thought I was an NBA player. I mean, I was I was swiping like I was like
No,
I thought I was
I want to say I was Damon Williams from Mo Money when they was in the store just until it
No.
went. Eh.
But now you guys like credit card companies are not allowed to do that anymore because they were purposely aiming towards being on college campuses because they knew these kids didn't have really knowledge of APR and you will have to pay this back and you don't just pay the minimum or is it going to get you,
Oh
you know?
yeah.
So they stopped that. That became, I don't know, I had a discussion with another colleague of mine who she's really big in the financial world. And she was talking about this. She's like, yeah, they got me in college, but now, you know, they took them to courts and they're not allowed. They cannot offer credit cards within colleges or universities because they were doing that on purpose, knowing of the ignorance that was there. So they knew it was like, oh, we're gonna get these kids like
They
crazy.
got
I'm like,
me.
hey, like again, money in the right hands. We can't control that, but we can at least be part of the good ones when we do get our blessings with our finances, where we can contribute with a good heart. You know.
I even lay little bugs in my kids' ear, like asking them daily or weekly sometimes, what's an asset? What's a liability? Just keeping that like in their little head. Of course they can't answer. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't. But I still I still lay that bug because I want them to not make the same mistakes that I made.
Yeah, that's awesome. Communication is key. Communication under, especially money. Communicate with yourself. Communicate with others who might know more knowledge than you. Communicate always with your spouse. Communicate with your family too, if it is a family dynamic. Um, but yeah, that is key too for with money. But that's it for me. That's all.
Well, we definitely thank you for all your helpful tips and giving us amazing books to read too, actually. But
Yes.
I had one more
Now we turned
question
into
for
a
you.
book club.
No, we just started book club.
one more question for you. I know you going to Tokyo. What are you guys planning to see in Tokyo?
I'm We've been there. This will be like our third time. We're kind of going to be a little bit more chill this time. We want to just walk the streets of Tokyo, have a little sake, have a little like sushi, just enjoying. Because, like I said, this year one of our goals was just this was the only big trip we were going to take. This was going to be the only big one that we're going to take. We went hard in our both businesses this year, so I am a little tired. So that's why I was like, because we're celebrating our birthdays over there, and for mine, I'm like, I really just want to stay at the hotel, I think, and just order room service. So I'm really excited
Capricorn?
for that. Huh?
Are you a Capricorn?
Sagittarius. We're both
Oh,
Sagittarius.
oh, I'm
We're
sorry to
one
hear
day.
Well,
that.
well, happy birthday. Happy
Thank
birthday
you.
Yeah.
to you both. To you both.
Thank you.
But
Yeah, there's nothing
my
No,
really too
enjoy
crazy.
it. It's much deserved. We work hard, then we can play hard just as well. So yeah.
I'm playing gentle though, because I feel like I work so hard that I'm like, I just want to be gentle. Let's just go walk, the streets. It's Tokyo's so different in regards where that's one thing I would recommend if you ever go. Just walk the streets because they have like bars that are underground. You could be like, yo, let's
oh
just go
wow.
check this out. And it's so cool. And like it's just different. Like you don't really have to go with like last year I did that where we did Mount Fuji, we did tours. I was like, I don't want to do that. Like I just want to like we have our schedule, but it's a little bit more aimed to like we're just gonna this is where we're gonna go to have dinner, then let's get lost in the city a little bit and then be home by 9 p.m. I'm like, I'm not that type of like I know we don't look like we're from here. So I'm also smart on that where I'm like, in regards to getting lit, like, no, anytime I'm in
Right.
we look so different. I look like an Amazon to all these little bitty bitty people. So like, no, I'm very responsible over there, but just yeah, there's not much. We are doing the red light district there. Their red light district, they converted it to all little mini bars. So back in the like it's that's one thing with Tokyo too. It's like their restaurants, they're not even I guess the other restaurants, they're like tiny because they utilize all their space. So you'll have a first floor and then like skinny stairs go up to the second floor and like five people can fit there, but people don't stay there that long. It's a little and then people, you go to the next spot. So that's probably
Hmm.
our big thing that I'm excited for, seeing those like little because we went through them last year, but we were on a tour. So the tour guy was like, wait, can we like try? And they're like, no, we got to go to the next thing. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, we got to come back.
Yeah, I literally was like, this is the only thing I want to do next time we come back. I want to sit at these little bars and have a drink. That's it.
That
my
sounds
my
so much fun.
It's so cool. I love Tokyo.
my wife, she went to I think it's Okinawa.
Yeah,
Same.
in Japan.
She tells me all the time because her favorite thing is like sushi and noodles. We always get that here. She
Yes,
tells me all the time when we're eating, if you don't serve the noodles in Japan, it's considered disrespect. So I'm like,
it is.
it's like,
It feels weird for me though to do that. I'm like, I feel so rude, but it's like opposite because that's their culture. But she's absolutely right. But yeah, we're excited. I'm blessed. And again, goes back to my tip of we budgeted for this. So we're going knowing like we know what the budget is even there. Every day I always break down this is what we're gonna spend. But it again it gives us a sense of peace, gives us a sense of even like celebration, like, hey, we did it, we did what we wanted to do. And we're still being responsible with the habit. Even I always tell people it doesn't matter if you're making 100,000 every month or just 5,000 every month. If you're not responsible with that, you're just gonna spend it.
Not what you got is what you do with it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Boom.
I like Ice Cube's quote. Don't don't cry for something you didn't get for the work you didn't put in. And like that's like that's the ultimate thing, man. You guys
Mhm.
put in the work, so enjoy your benefit. Yeah.
Thank you
Enjoy
guys.
your
Oh,
benefit.
anytime you guys need me back, I am here. And you got my text. You know how to text me.
You know we're being contacted. I come for you for all my policies, you know. But
Your
but
annual's coming up pretty soon too, so I'm gonna that. We gotta review that.
So thank you again for coming on. Thank you for taking the
Thanks
time
again,
out
Crystal.
to always support us. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very
Hey,
much.
hey, wait.
Wait.
So, if people want to get in contact with you or utilize your services, how do they get in contact with you?
There's multiple ways. Instagram is one way. My Instagram, Crystal Dream XOXO, direct message on there. Or if you want to email me, it's literally my full name, crystalcastilloguster@gmail.com. You can also go through my website at www.crystalcastilloguster.com. So if you guys want to contact me for, just to have even conversation or just to learn more, I'm always up for it.
And if you reach out to her, tell her what the fellas think sent you.
Yeah, then you'll be on my priority list because I do have my. How do you know about me? I do. I do. People be texting like, "Who referred you? Who are you?" Because if you don't tell me, like, okay, you're gonna talk to my assistant first.
Wow.
Yeah, just for
Well,
safety measures, right, for females out there.
yeah, you gotta. I actually thought about. Well, that'll be a side topic. Not we've already discussed that. But I saw like some crazy thing because there are female jewelers that travel to people's houses to sell rings and everything, and I'm like, that's kind of dangerous. Like,
Oh no, I would not do that. I would not. If
yeah,
there, if
Where's my
there was,
ski mask at?
that's kind
no, heck no, nope. You will get a Zoom virtual meeting or a phone call from me. Thank you guys, though. I appreciate you
Thank you.
guys. Have a wonderful holiday and an
Yes,
You
you
too.
amazing
too.
new year. We'll talk. We'll be talking soon, though.
Most
You
definitely.
have a
Take
safe
care.
travels out there. Enjoy Tokyo. Have a good
Thank
one.
you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Yes.
That was cool. I like Crystal. Crystal cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we always have an interesting show when she's on.
Look, we just dropped some serious gems, y'all. Y'all, I hope y'all take us up on that. You know, the books, uh, whatever. The four tips she gave us is excellent. It's never too late to start saving.
And if you got a plan, that's how you do it right there.
If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. Hey, so Brandon came up with this new segment that we're about to introduce. So I'm going to let Brandon kick it off. Brandon.
This is our first week of doing it. We're gonna have a fun fact segment. And this I'll kick it off with my first fun fact. And I bet a lot of people didn't know because I didn't know. If I was to ask my co-host here, Roy, how many different type of apples are there in the world?
I would think off the top of my head, there is about 16.
There's 7,500 different type of apples, and it's
Wow.
all based. Yeah, it's all based on your flavor. Basically, you want sweetness, the texture, the
Tart.
tart. Yeah, you want that type of how long you want it to last, the life of it, like that type of thing. And it's crazy. And I would think just walking through a grocery store, 16 would be perfect number. Myself, I'm like, I looked that up and it's 7,500 different
Wow.
types.
So are these all natural or are these uh, lab created
No, these
hybrids?
are these are all natural. It's different seeds, different I wouldn't call them breeds, but different types of apples based on level of sweetness, level of tartness, level of like life expectancy of it. So it's all different types, and it's all natural too.
So
And
when
I,
I
I didn't
said
know this.
16, when I said 16, there was this, and it wasn't a meme, but it was on Facebook, and I took a snapshot of it, and they had like 16 different apples from tart to sweet. So I thought it was just 16, but 75.
7,500. That's crazy. That's crazy. But I also didn't notice apples contain over 85% water too. So they're a good source of water, fiber, a lot of minerals for you. It's very healthy. And the apple a day do keep the doctor away, I guess, because it's a lot of valuable stuff in there for you. That's my fun fact. Which one you get?
So now you're making me sound like a weirdo because my fun facts are about sex.
It's all good. It's what the fellas think, fellas.
Okay,
What the fellas think.
I take the glasses off to read this. Uh, pain relief. During an orgasm, the body releases oxytocin, a hormone that can help reduce pain perception, making sex a natural pain reliever. Now, I knew this before, so fellas, next time she says she got a headache, you like, hey, I'm here to help. Uh, sex is also a brain boost.
Yeah.
Sexual activity can stimulate creativity in women, with some studies linking orgasms to increase creative thinking. Stress reduction. Duh. Sex can significantly lower stress levels due to release of endomorphins, the body's natural feel-good chemicals. Oh yeah, those endomorphins. Yes, man. No, I felt that. Even before I knew that, there was like this little rush in my head, like after you get one off, so to say, it's just like ah. It also makes you feel like a slime ball too, especially if you're by yourself. Put that thing away. But no,
Hey, we
I
won't tell any embarrassing stories about being by yourself now.
no, so that's where I went with it. I was just like, let me Google, fun facts about sex. But yeah, I'll be more PG next time. I won't be such a pervert.
Now you make mine look a little lame. Shit, I said apples. The hell they like what the hell he talking about apples? What
Yeah,
the hell?
it's like let's see what Elroy got to say. I know he got some crazy shit to say. Did I disappoint? um, Yeah, I like this, the fun facts, because now it's going to get more creative, and more things to talk about, and kind of up our social game. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, I did look up another fact about sex. Uh, and I don't know how they come up with this number, so I this wasn't my go-to, but I want to spark a light in people's head. Uh, and I don't know where this stat came from. Only 25 people discuss with their mate if they have a sexual disease before having unprotected sex.
What?
25%
What? That's
discuss
oh man, that's
discuss hey, do you got anything? When's the last time you've been tested? I mean, I think I'm
that's
like kind of like the average, where I say I I think I've only asked like maybe one or two girls, hey, let's go get tested. I guess because I was planning on having a long term relation with them. I guess if it was short term, I didn't care, huh? I don't know, but yeah, that's something to really think about. Think about how many times you let's take away the one lazy factor. Hey, do you got anything? Okay, we probably said that a lot, but how many of us have actually went together to go get tested together? Because here's
what?
another fact. Here's another fact, and I don't have to research this. I know it for truth. The first time you don't use a condom with a person, you'll never go back to using a condom. If it's one of those heat of the moment instances, whether it's the first time or the third or the fourth time, after that you don't use a condom. You're not using the condom no more.
You know what? Using condoms, I'd be like, yeah, you need to, especially out in today's time, because Houston did a STD study. They have they have 25. The rate is like 73 or something like that, 74% STDs. The rate, but they have 23% of STDs in Houston cannot be identified.
Wow.
so, so it's like, and this is not necessarily a fun fact because somebody out there living nasty. But I'm just saying.
And you know
But
what? No, some of them they ain't looking nasty. They the fine ones that you want. Those are probably the ones that's the carriers, whereas the unattractive ones are really the clean ones.
nah, I said living nasty
Oh,
because
living nasty. Yeah.
because how is it that 23% cannot be identified? You know how long STDs have been around?
Right.
Y'all, I mean, y'all got some new stuff out here.
Like
And
doctors
I
like
ain't
doctors like I don't know what this is, but it's bad. Look,
Like that's
you can't tell me what it is, and I ain't paying my copay. My
no.
$20 staying in my pocket. But yeah, I mean, I can say I'm lucky enough that I've never had an STD, but I kind of rolled the dice in my youth, you know, just roll
Uh,
the dice. And lucky I never rolled snake eyes.
I think we all speaking from male perspective out here. What as is what the fellas think. We, I think all males have done that because you a lot of times you look at the girl and you look at the condom, look at the girl, you look at the condom, look at the girl, and you be like, "Fuck this condom."
No, I just didn't. It wasn't available at the time, so just like fuck it.
Oh, you ain't had that moment where you was just like, yeah, I ain't pulling it out.
I've
You ain't had
had
that.
moments where I didn't realize that they pulled it off.
Hey, what type of you must have had mind blowing to not realize what's going on.
Probably numb as fuck, but or it could be, it's like a quick hand movement. To tell you the truth, it's like whether they pulling it in or pulling out or whatever, they can just like they putting it back in and they roll unrolling it off and as that same motion they put inside them or I don't know, but yeah, I can luckily say I have never had an STD. And I am a more responsible person now than I was in my teens and 20s. Hey,
I
just met you at a club 2 hours ago. Huh, roll the dice.
I'm glad I ain't gotta worry about that stuff no more. I'm out the dating scene.
Brandon, it's been a good one, but I'm tired, bro.
I hear you, bro. I just wanna say this has been another great episode of What the Fellas Think. 28. And
28.
we gonna be at
Whatever
100
and whatever
soon.
that hand gesture he just did.
That was my 28. That was my 28. It was quick. It was quick. But thank you guys for listening to us. We definitely had some great tips on here for you.
Got
Great
a lot
books you should.
more subscribers
Yeah,
coming on. We appreciate you guys.
yeah, great
Our our
books.
our views are going up. Okay, I'm sorry. You talking
No,
about books? I'm talking about us. Yeah, we got more subscribers. We got more views. We growing, and that means we doing something right. So we're gonna work harder to give you guys a better quality product. Now, you saying about them books? You nerd.
I just- we gotta educate. That's a part of our motto.
Yeah, educate,
Yeah.
entertain, and inspire.
But definitely we had some great books on here for y'all to look up and buy and read. It's gonna educate you definitely about money, definitely about yourself, learning about yourself, your emotions, how to control your emotions, how to deal with stress, how to deal with money and build money. So definitely some great books to read. So,
Man, folks, save y'all money. Because I guarantee you, around the corner is a rainy day waiting to fuck up your whole life, your whole day, whether it be your car, a hole in the roof, a leak, or whatever. Always have that emergency cash or that emergency credit card that can take care of that shit. Because I guarantee you, it is gonna happen. That being whatever the big question mark, but it will happen.
well, like we said, like, comment, and subscribe. This has been another great week for What the Fellas Think. Hope you all enjoy. Thank you.
Peace.